Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks so much for being here. We're delighted to have you. So whenever we gather folks in a setting like this, we try to set high expectations with our audience. And we do that with 4 different levels of engagement. So the first and most basic level for us is, did you like the program? So did you like it? Did you have a good time? Did you smile? Did you make a new friend? Did you enjoy dinner? Did you like the program? That's the first and most basic level for us. Certainly hope we get there this evening. A second level and a higher level is, could you pass a test based on the content that we cover? So if I were to ask you or give you a test at the end of the program and you were able to pass that test, you would be able to achieve level 2 for us. Did you actually absorb the information, and are you able to pass the test? So the good news is tonight there will be no test at the end of the program. No test. Yay! Yay. A third level, and really where we hope to be with you this evening, is, did we affect behavior? Or did we do something different as a result of our gathering here for the next hour? If you think about that, that's a little bit more meaty if you think about it. So do we have a strategy or tactic to actually take back and use when we engage our customers? And then finally, the highest level for us is this idea of level 4 is return on investment. Did we get a return on our investment for this program? I mean, if you think about it, we have a room full of 150 people here for the next hour. That's a big deal. So yeah, we want you to like the program. That's fine. Yeah, you'll be able to pass the test, but we're going to go through all the answers with you. Our challenge tonight is, did we affect behavior? And when you walk out this evening, do you say, wow, that was really worth my time. It was really worth it. So with that, you are my customer. You're the customer tonight. Or as we used to say at Disney, you are my guest. And we'll do all that we can just to kind of wrap our arms around you and guide you to level 3 and level 4. So my name is Mike Donnelly. I started with the Walt Disney Company, kind of grew up there professionally. I started as a Jungle Cruise skipper out in the Magic Kingdom. How many people have ever been on the Jungle Cruise? Let me see your hands. Right, yes, good, all right. Very, very nice. Yes, it's good to see you all again. I thought I recognized a few of you. Good. So in order to become a Jungle Cruise skipper, you have to memorize a script, or we call it a spiel at Disney. And you have to memorize that script verbatim. Every the, we. Have to memorize 10 pages of it. And then you have to spiel it back to your supervisor in order to check out as a Jungle Cruise skipper. So to this day, I still remember my spiel. 20 years later. Would you like to hear it now? Okay, that sounds great. All right, well, we'll just do the opening. Here comes the opening to the Jungle Cruise, and I'm Morocco Mike. You're all on a boat now. You're all on a boat. So you're all on a boat. Okay, crew, we're going to round this corner into the Amazon River of South America. A lot of the plants and the vegetation that you see around you require no soil to grow. They get all their nutrition from the moisture in the air, where it rains 365 days a year in the jungle. Over there on your left-hand side, you see a very large dock. Over there on your right-hand side, you see another very large dock. Here in the jungle, we call that a paradox. Come on, that's funny. That is funny. It's a little warm in here, isn't it? I think we'll just stop there. We'll stop there. So as I mentioned, I spent over 20 years with the Walt Disney Company, and I wanted to share a little bit about that experience with you as we go through the evening tonight. So the framework we have at the Donnelly Effect is really based on 20 years of experience at the Walt Disney Company. And here's what we knew at the Walt Disney Company about leadership. When we have responsible and engaged and inspired leaders at Disney, those leaders would draw to them, they would bring to them, they would grow cast members that were responsible and engaged and inspired. And those cast members that were working happy would engage our guests that came to see us. And that interaction tends to go really well. When people are working happy, that interaction goes well. Not perfectly every time by any means, but it tends to go really well. And when that interaction goes well, people connect emotionally. And when they get back to Rochester and the neighbor comes home over and says, hey, how was your trip to Disney? Usually they say, oh my gosh, we had a great time. As a matter of fact, we're going back next year. And you ought to go too. And that for us at Disney was the holy grail. Does a guest come and have an experience with us, and do they intend to return, and do they intend to refer? If we can check both of those boxes, then we win every time. So we're going to make the same argument with you here tonight. When you, as a leader, when you're responsible and engaged and inspired, you draw to you and grow employees that are responsible and engaged and inspired and working happy. Those folks interact with your customers. That interaction tends to go well, not perfectly, of course, but it tends to go well. And your guests or your customers come back and see you again and again. The Holy Grail, do we want our customers to come back? Absolutely. Do we want them to tell their friends and family? Absolutely. And when they're doing that, when a large percentage of your folks are coming back and referring folks, business results follow. We are insight-based. So this idea of insight, we think about our experience, our years of leadership experience at Disney, and then with our insights, we try to supply you with an insight based on a business truth that we learned. And then we'll provide an illustration, and then we're going to ask you to see if we can apply it. So insight, illustration, application. So here's a quick example. Here's what we know when we connect with our guests that come to see us. Emotional connections lead to economic outcomes. One more time. Emotional connections lead to economic outcomes. So if you think about that for just a moment, just kind of chew on that insight. How do we connect our customer emotionally with the experience so they come back and see us? So from a leadership standpoint, we asked our cast members. We said, all right, 60,000 cast members at Walt Disney World, the largest single-site employer in all of the country. We asked all cast members every year, what do they like, what don't they like? And we asked them one year about the Walt Disney World leader. And we asked them, all right, what is it about a leader that takes them at Disney from really good to great? And we got thousands and thousands of responses back from our cast members. And here's what they told us. We took all of those responses and distilled them down into 4 basic abilities that great leaders at Disney possessed. And would you like to know what they are? Okay, here they come. First one was the ability to listen. The ability to listen. Listen not with the intent to reply, but with the intent to truly understand. And here's what we found out. When cast members felt understood, trust increased, and we had stronger relationships. So listen to me. Second one was the ability to inform me and involve me in decisions, especially in decisions that affect my daily work. So think about that. So if you're going to change my schedule, or if you're going to change out some of the equipment that we have that we work with, I want to be involved as a cast member in that decision. I want to see if I can influence the decision. I just want to know what's up. So great leaders involve their people in decision making, especially in the decisions that affect their daily work. Third one was reward and recognize me. Here's what we know at Disney. When we reward performance, when we talk about it, when we celebrate it, when we tell stories about it, we get more of that good performance. So we set about designing strategies that encouraged people to reward and recognize certain behaviors. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then finally, the fourth one was based around this idea of coaching. And it was the lack of reprimanding. It was more development and coaching. So I don't want to, I'm not after reprimanding, but I want to be able to develop as a Jungle Cruise skipper, as a food and beverage host, as a merchandise host or hostess. I want to be developed. So I want my great leaders to help and coach me along. Those 4. Now, does any of that stuff sound really difficult to do? Is that something that we all in this room could do more of? Absolutely. So we'll be talking here in the next hour about strategies and tactics that'll get us from good to great.